Well, that didn't work either.
I am unimpressed today.
He has his mad face on.
Open broadcast software.
You can't see his eyebrows because his hat's covering, but he's not happy. Your hat's too low. There we go. That's better. Now you're aging yourself.
I know. Might as well be old. Either way, welcome to the post-credit show. It says it right here. You might not have been able to see our lovely barrel roll news post-credit show. If you can't hear us that well this week, it's because I goofed. My microphone is at my other workplace, and yeah, we have the little thing that attaches to our microphone.
I don't want to hold it the entire time, but
I almost thought
just imagine it's here.
I was gonna find a picture of the microphone, like from one of our old videos, and just like superimpose it. But if any of us put our hand over top, like it would just be like there would be a microphone that would. We are. That's why I'm like that's not a good idea. Because we'd be like this, and all of a sudden be like, why is that microphone in front of their hands when it's clearly supposed to be right there?
It's on both sides.
Dun dun dun. So,
yeah.
Welcome to the post-credit show where we talk about all the weird, nerdy things we've been up to for the week, watching movies, playing games, watching sports, because again, we count sports as a nerdy type activity.
Yes, because we are Canadian.
And we watch hockey, and it is a nerdy type thing to do.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes. Either way, do we rock, paper, scissors? Oh, I'm Nick.
I'm Chris.
And do we rock, paper,
throwing
scissors?
me off with this rock, paper, scissors thing.
Do you want to start? Do you want me to
start?
All right, I was going to say it.
Suck it up here.
I guess if I have to, I can,
a fair amount, I guess.
All right.
I did finally go see a movie in theaters.
Whoa.
Again.
Whoa.
It was my dad's birthday this week.
Oh, there you go.
So.
That's right. I saw that.
We took him to a movie.
The Facebook notification.
My brother and I took him to a movie and saw Hitman's Bodyguard.
Oh, how was that?
It was a good action movie.
Yep.
The comedy was there.
Okay.
But it wasn't as prominent as I was expecting it to be.
All right. So more of an action, less of a comedy?
Yes. Okay. I mean, obviously with with Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson, you're going to get a funny movie. It's just...
Or all the funny parts kind of at the...
Mostly.
In the trailer.
It wasn't a bad movie.
Yep.
It was just, I could have done with more humor.
It's kind of like what happened to, what was it, R.I.P.D. with him in it?
I think so.
Where it was like, oh, this could be a really good movie, and then you go and see it, and you're like, that was a film?
It was okay.
Yep.
So, I mean, like I say, it wasn't a bad movie. It was essentially Samuel L. Jackson being Samuel L. Jackson.
And Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds?
Ryan Reynolds is kind of playing a broken guy.
Oh, okay.
A bit of a broken guy. So he's not necessarily himself. But it was a different twist on it, I guess.
That's good.
But yeah, it was a good action. It was non-stop, pretty much.
Just go.
Because they are. That's what it is. Ryan Reynolds' character is transporting Samuel Jackson's character to where they need to go.
There you go.
Because Ryan Reynolds' character is AAA bodyguard service.
Okay.
And Samuel L. Jackson is a hitman, and
who's in danger.
And obviously their two jobs conflict.
Yeah.
And it's where Samuel L. Jackson's making fun of the fact that he's calling himself a AAA
bodyguard.
What the hell does that even mean?
Yeah.
making fun of him.
Yeah.
Well, apparently the AAA means that you stick your ass in front of their ass. You're the ass in between. Trying to protect protecting the person you're supposed to protect.
Yeah.
That's what apparently the AAA means.
Putting your ass on the line.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good.
Well, that's good. And everybody you went to see it with enjoyed it enough? Like y'all walked out going like, that was a good enough movie.
Yeah, like it's the same thing. It was a good action movie.
Yeah.
I probably will buy it when it comes out.
There you go.
That's not surprising news.
You buy a film?
I know, right? But yeah, it was. Selma Hayek.
Selma?
Yes, was in it a bit.
Oh.
It was really weird seeing her curse so much.
Have you seen Dogma?
No.
You should see Dogma.
I don't know. I don't view her as that type of person.
You clearly haven't seen Dogma.
No. But just like hearing her in this movie, She was like a female version of Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like I know Selma from. My uncle showed me Dogma a long time ago when I shouldn't have watched Dogma, but you know, Jay and Silent Bob dealing with religious type stuff, and Selma Hayek in that movie is a stripper.
Yeah.
And it's a Kevin Smith movie, and you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it was overall good movie.
Nice.
Yeah, that was it for movies. It's been once again a busy week where I just feel like I'm constantly doing stuff.
This week was nuts, man.
Again, for the second week in a row.
We had a 4-day work week, and
those are the longest.
And it was nuts.
Game wise, still working on that pro person for NHL.
Nice.
I'm in February now, so I only have about 14 games in the regular season left with him. And then we probably will make playoffs. We're up there. We're not the best team in the league, but we're up there. I have 14 games to get 27 points. My goal in that game is to get 100 points in the season.
Oh, there you go.
It's getting there. Some games it's more of a struggle than others because your team around you is terrible.
Yep.
And I'm a 67 rated now comparatively to everyone else that's like a low 60. It doesn't sound like a big difference, but their decision making is not great in that game. Well, like I'm covering a point, and the other winger comes over and skates right beside me, and it's like, you got the other guy over there.
I find that like NBA does that, but it does it in a point where it's like, I'm coming to you, you have to learn to move. Because basketball is much more of a, like, you're moving around type game.
Yeah.
Whereas hockey, once you've kind of got your position, you stay there and you're like, oh, okay, he's got that. Yeah. I'll go over.
Well, no, I had to scramble to go get
and then,
that other guy. Because obviously
like,
he's doing this.
Yeah, you're like, oh, no.
And then I get in trouble not covering the point.
Yeah.
It was, but it's just their guy came over. My teammate came over and did
and
the same thing.
Yeah, I had to save the day sort of thing. Yeah. That always bugs me in sports games when, it's like, but if you're playing in a smaller league and obviously
my rating's higher than everyone else.
You're the more talented player on this team.
I am apparently the fastest person on this team because I am the only one that back checks. I'm always covering that third guy coming in. Always being that third guy covering in. I don't know. I don't know where my centerman is doing his job. I may as well just sign up to be a centerman.
I was going to say, I always play as a centerman, so it's always funny to me when I think I tried one time.
I knew I was going to be good at draws.
Yeah.
I suck at those.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm a winger.
Well, it's funny because the one time I tried not being center and it drove me nuts because I didn't have that, like, first bit of control, and I'm like, oh, man.
I've learned that even when the other team wins the draw, my player is quick enough that I'm cutting that puck off anyways. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter.
Oh, well, then you're good.
Yeah, it was funny because there was the example I have from this morning was their player won the draw and all they did was lift the stick and did a turn and we're passing it back to the D. The whole process of doing that, I jumped right in between him and the D and I took the puck away.
In FIFA, it's funny because I did actually start as a right wing because I'm like, I don't know soccer positions that well.
Mm-hmm.
Hockey, there's only 6 positions technically. Like 2 defense, right wing, left wing, center, and goalie.
Yeah.
Soccer, there's a shit ton. And I'm like, well, I don't want to do defense because that's not really my shtick. I want to be up in the action.
Yeah.
So I did pick right wing. And then when they started me off in the game, they put me at center. They put me as the striker. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Sure.
And then every once in a while, they'll switch up the game plan because, again, I don't get to pick. I'm not the coach. I'm the one player. And, I'll end up on the right wing. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing over here. I've been playing center for like a year. What do I do? And then I'm always out of position and here and there and everywhere. And I'm like, oh, okay. That's fine. Whatever. Just throw me into a different position, coach.
Pretty much.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always the left wing.
Yeah.
I should be covering the left side.
Yep.
But that's not how. Apparently, that's not how it works.
That's because you're fast.
Apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's getting there. I've been powering through this season.
Oh yeah.
At a decent rate. The games go fairly quick.
Yep.
You're only on the ice for maybe 40 seconds.
Okay.
I've learned it That's about your average ice time, unless the coach wants you out there a little bit longer or whatever. But I'm on the top penalty kill line.
Because they call you in for line changes.
And I do like how that system has worked now. It's not there's actually on the screen where your timer is for your shift. That's where it's blinking now.
Yep.
And so it's right there, so you don't have to go by your boards to see, oh, coach wanted me. You can actually see it right while you're playing. Don't have to be close to the bench to do anything, which works.
Nice.
Because as a winger, I'm not necessarily on that side of the ice. So it's good that way. Yeah, maybe by next week I'll have the season done and we'll be in the playoffs.
Whoop, whoop.
Hope.
You hope.
Well, we're going to be in the playoffs. It's just a matter of
where
position.
You end up in the playoffs, yeah.
Matter of position. And then see how I go from there, being the apparently 16-year-old
all-star
leader
rookie
of this team.
Yeah.
See if I can carry my team through the playoffs. Whew. I don't know. Pressure. The way we've been playing, not really, because the rest of my team sucks.
One-man show.
I have to be.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I scored the go-ahead goal. Within 2 minutes of the team, I scored both the goals to take the lead back, and it's like.
See, that's the nice part of FIFA that I'm finding. And again, I don't know the leagues that well, so they're like, choose a team you want to play on at the beginning, and I'm like,
Canada.
Well, not even Canada. So like I pick. I picked this one smaller league, and I'm like, I'll play for the Montreal. I don't even know what they are anymore.
No, it's not Whitecaps. Toronto.
That's true. That's
Vancouver.
That's Vancouver. Starts with an R or something stupid.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll pick I started with Toronto, and I'm like, eh. And I'm like, so I moved to Montreal. I restarted my game, and I started as Montreal because I restarted my game because my last name is not in the game, but my wife's is. So I took my wife's last name in the game. So I'm like, yeah. So I restarted because I'm like, yeah, I'll do something different.
Yeah.
So I restarted the game and did that. But yeah, it's like I have no idea what the teams are. So it's like, you're playing for Montreal, and I'm like, are we a good team? And then again in soccer, in that game, it's like, oh well, now we're loaning you out to this team.
Yeah.
And it could be like, we want to loan you out to this other team in the league. Mm-hmm. They're going to pay you this much money, and I'm like, no. Why am I going to like Seattle after I've put you guys in first place? You want to ship me off to Seattle?
Yeah. And
it's like, yes, for the rest of the season. And I'm like, I don't understand, but we can call you back anytime we want to. And I'm like, I don't understand what's going on.
I don't know.
Soccer, and I tried looking it up online, like how soccer works from like the GM point of view.
Yeah.
Because again, hockey, it's not like we can just be like, hey, we'd really like to borrow Sidney Crosby for like a week. We'll pay his salary for a week if we can just have him. That's not how hockey works. Hockey is either a straight trade, or you let a guy's contract run out.
Yep.
And then he signs for a different team. Like that's how hockey works. Yeah. Soccer with this whole loan system, I'm like, I have no idea, and I'm looking online, and there's no like explain it like I'm 5 type explanation to loaning.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay. And I can request a transfer now, or I can request a loan. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on anymore. So I might request a loan because I just started a new season in FIFA. Like we got through the year.
Yeah.
I didn't get to play in any playoffs because the team I joined halfway through the season last year didn't make the playoffs. Team Canada didn't make World Cup. Yeah. The Montreal, by the time I got back to that team, their season was over, so they had gone through the tournaments and played. So I'm like, okay, I'll just be over.
I'll train.
I'll just be over here. It's cool. So I did. I spent a lot of time training in the off season. Like there was no games for a while, and it's just like training.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good old sports games.
I do like that with the NHL. They've added the new feature in the Being a Pro is the trade request.
Which is nice because honestly, as a professional athlete, you can say, "Hey, I want to be."
Pretty much.
I want to be traded.
So, whoever team I get drafted by, I don't want to be a part of your team.
Yep.
I want Oilers.
And can you actually pick? Can you say trade request and say I want to be?
You can choose divisional rivals or that, or I could just play out the season and just.
You could. And then
go
wait
up
for
against them.
contracts to come up, you know.
And then they offer me a contract and can say no.
Yeah, I did that with one of my games. That like, when I used to play NHL on my Xbox 360,
Yeah.
it was I'm like, I forgot who I got drafted by, and I'm like, okay, as long as it's not Calgary,
Well,
I'll take it.
I mean, my draft year is still over a year away.
Yeah, you got some time.
I will probably be going number 1. I'm just saying. I'm not being cocky or anything.
No, but by the time you get done your stats, you're gonna be like,
I'm a 67 already, and I'm not even done my first season.
Yeah.
I'll probably be in the high 70s by
the end of
draft time. So I probably go to the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
I'm expecting that I'll be part of Vegas or
Yeah.
Arizona.
I was gonna say Vegas wouldn't be too bad in the NHL game.
No, I think I'd be okay for a bit there.
Like, do a year in Vegas. Yeah. Then when they're like, we want to extend your contract to 8 years, you're like, that's nice.
I want to be traded to a divisional rival.
Yeah.
Specifically the one up north.
Yeah, go north.
Hometown.
Not the one with the fire on its emblem.
No, the hometown of my character.
Yeah.
That's how I roll. Hometown.
Yeah, that's a nice option. Is the actual request trade? Because that's what I missed. Is you're sitting there and it's like you have to play up the season pretty much as where team you get picked on, and then it's like hope to God like during the off season.
Yeah.
That the Oilers come in with that contract going like, we'll pay you, and I'm like, I don't care. $1 million, I'm in.
Yep. Or I go to East.
Or go, yeah.
As long as it's not Toronto.
That's what I did.
Or I don't want to go to Toronto.
I ended up playing for the Flyers for a while.
That wouldn't be a terrible team.
I like the Flyers. I do. They're my kind of East Coast team. If I have to pick an East West, I like the Flyers. Philly's a good hockey city.
Maybe by that time I'll be Pittsburgh.
Well, that wouldn't be bad. Play with the kid.
Yeah, or Malkin, whichever one.
He's not a kid anymore, but you know.
That Crosby guy.
I'll
change my number, I guess.
That Crosby old dude, is that your number?
No.
See, I'm always number 1.
I go with my age here.
Oh, there you go.
I got that from my brother too. Why you that number?
That's not a bad number.
It's the year I was born.
Yeah. It's not a bad number. I've always just gone with number 1 because I'm number 1.
It's a goalie's number.
Don't care.
No.
I am number 1.
No. But yeah, continuing that, I did buy Stardew Valley.
Excellent.
I haven't played very much.
You played like a day and didn't save?
I got the introduction, and yes, I cropped things, planted them, and then I went to town and I talked to a couple people.
Yep.
Apparently I'm not allowed in their bedrooms because their relationship isn't that great.
You gotta get 2 stars.
Well, sure.
Or 2 hearts.
I was hoping after one conversation I can just walk into.
No, 2 friends, 2 hearts in their friend meter thing.
And then I was like, hey, I gotta go. And so I shut it off and realized, I don't know if I saved.
No, you gotta go to bed.
Yeah, no. So I gotta restart this first day over again. I spent too much time hacking at things.
I was just gonna say, day 1 is not a bad thing to restart, though.
No, because it's not that far in.
Right. It's not like you've played a month and then gone, I could have done this better.
Well, I'm gonna make it a goal. I talk to everyone. Trying to find everyone will be a challenge.
That's a bitch.
But maybe I just plant my crops and just
day 1,
chat.
Plant your crops, chat who you can chat to. And if it goes into the evening, there is a saloon in town, and that's where a lot of people do end up.
Okay. I don't know, because there was one character that wandered off into the wilderness.
So there's, and below your farm is a lake with a couple houses, and there's something off, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but off to the west end of that map.
In the town, there was a lady that went up, or I assume a lady character that went up north and then took a right.
Yes, so there's, if you go up north, there's the it's kind of like the research facility, so the lady who works with lumber's up there, and there's like a geologist up there.
I can give him my rocks.
And eventually there's going to be a mine.
Eventually.
But that doesn't unlock for a while. They want you to get used to the farming stuff, and then one day you'll get a letter in the mail that goes like, hey, the mine's open.
I think I want to cut down that big tree that's in my yard.
Oh, I cut down a lot of the big trees in my yard. They regrow real fast.
Just because.
They regrow real fast.
I can't see my crop that well.
Oh, well, that was my big thing, is now that I've gone through a year now in Stardew Valley. I just started spring of year 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I have the golden axe.
Okay. It cuts faster?
Cuts faster and cuts bigger stuff. So I can cut down, like, there's logs.
Yeah.
And then there's stumps. So I can cut down the logs, and there's a place in the forest where the stumps regrow every day, so you can get 12 hardwood, not just wood, but like hardwood, which you need later on to do stuff. Yes, I have a home phone. That's what is ringing. The office.
Someone
the
calling
office phone.
Someone actually calling it?
Well, it's election time right now.
That's true. Maybe that's who was at the door earlier.
That's what I'm assuming. But yeah, once you kind of get upgraded tools, stuff gets a little bit easier.
That takes a while, I would assume.
So you have to collect the ore you need. So to upgrade to the next axe, you have to get copper ore, which you get from the mine.
There's stuff I can build already when I chop those little stumps. Like I can build fence.
You can build
which
a fence.
I didn't see a point to doing.
Fence is just to kind of, well, once you get animals, you need fences.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Right now you don't need fences other than to look pretty.
Yeah.
And then the fences break down, so you have to keep rebuilding them. Unless you start building hardwood fences, then they last longer.
Okay.
So that's the point is, the further you go, the better crap you get.
Okay. The more experienced farmer you become.
And as you use tools, this is the first game that's... Some of the Harvest Moon games to upgrade something.
Yeah.
And again, this isn't a Harvest Moon game, but it's from that... It came from that era of that passion of Harvest Moon. Once you use a tool enough, then you can go take it and get upgraded with the right ore and money.
Okay.
In this game, all you need is the money and the ore. So once you get into...
I talked to the shopkeeper about that?
Once you get into the mine, not the shopkeep, there's a blacksmith in town.
Okay.
You talk to him, and you say, upgrade tool, and your first upgrade's like $1,000, and five copper bars.
Yeah.
Which eventually you'll be able to make and all that crap.
Yeah.
And then 2 days. So you're 2 days without that tool.
Okay.
So like to upgrade my watering can, I have had all of the resources, but I've been like, I'm gonna wait.
Can you get a second watering can?
No. So I waited till winter when I have no crops to water.
That's true.
So I got it up to a silver watering can because I'm like, I'm not like super into this yet.
Yeah.
And there are sprinklers in the game that you can make, and like
that'd be nice.
So you can. There's sprinklers that you can actually put, and it waters your crops for you. Yeah. So I'm like, and I can deal with the couple sprinklers I have right now.
Yeah.
And so I don't really need an ultimate watering can because now I'm trying to save money to build up to the biggest house that I can get.
Oh, okay.
Because I've already picked the woman that I have
married,
that I'm gonna go after once I have a house that's big enough.
The carpenter lady that.
The artist lady that lives down in the woods.
I don't know. There's a carpenter lady that I talked to.
The carpenter lady, if it's the carpenter, is already married.
Oh.
So on the relationship page, there is, if you go into the start menu and go over to the side.
Break that relationship up.
No, you can't. That's not how this game works.
It should be.
Not how
RPG.
It's not how this game works. The only thing you can do, and I'm not sure in Stardew Valley if there's the rival relationships, because that's what's always in. It always actually made me feel bad in Harvest Moon.
Yeah.
Was for every available bachelorette there was a bachelor.
Okay.
So whoever you married, that one guy was the only one who didn't get married out of everyone else in town.
Yeah.
Like he was the forever single guy, and you were like, "Oh, Clint, like I feel bad for you, man."
But I got her.
But I got her first. So you always kind of felt bad, and I'm not sure if that's in this game per se.
Yeah.
It seems like it is. Like when you go to some of the festivals, some of the girls do seem to have like another suitor sort of thing.
Yeah.
But no, there's an artist sculptor lady who lives down in the woods.
Okay.
And that's who I was like, okay, you are the one I choose. But it's nice on the relationship page. It tells you who's single.
I'll go to the shopkeeper's wife.
And you just start going after all the wives.
That's how I play these games.
So you can marry, like, it tells you who's single and you can go after it. I'm like, well, that's nice, because at least you're not like... Because again, when I first saw the carpenter lady, I'm like, oh, okay,
sure.
Cool, like...
Future wife.
Like, potential, like, thing, and then all of a sudden it was like, you're talking to her husband who lives with her and they have a kid.
Oh, okay.
And you're like, so you can go after their kid.
I go after the old lady.
And the only... And her husband's in the wheelchair. Yeah, he'll never know, and if he does, he won't be able to catch us. Ah.
They have a kid, too.
They also have a child.
Apparently I'm playing homewrecker in the game. New farmer rolls into town, he's sitting on all the women.
Start sitting on it, all the chicks.
I don't care if I'm married.
So yeah, like I've gotten to the point where she's at 10 hearts.
Okay.
And they're giving me the, like, if you go to this guy, he'll sell you the thing you need to propose.
The ring?
It's not a ring, it's always something different in these games. Because this town has a tradition.
An axe.
No, in Harvest Moon it was a blue feather. In this one it's called the mermaid pendant, so you have to go buy the mermaid pendant off a guy
Sure.
to propose. And like, I think it's a letter you get that tells you this, but I think and from the mayor, and he's all like, and if you give it to any girl, like they know what you're talking about. It's not like it's
What the hell?
It's not like you're like,
this?
have this necklace that I'm giving you, and they're like, oh thanks, it's pretty, and you're like, yes, engaged.
They
And
don't
they're
know.
like, and they're like, I don't know what the heck. You just gave me this lovely necklace. They know what you're talking about. It's been told. Like everybody in town, that's the tradition in this town. So you're like, oh, okay. But at least they tell you it's not like some Harvest Moon games where once the game was out long enough, they're just like, yeah, if you give a girl a blue feather, like clearly she knows you want to get engaged. This game's like Harvest Moon just got to the point where they're like, here's your blue feather, and you're like, okay. Like this is just what happens in this world. In the old Harvest Moon games, they did do like, it's like, oh, when you know you fall in love with the girl and you want to get married to her, you give her a blue feather, and that's kind of the signal that you proposed. And you're like, oh.
Good to know. Take that blue feather back.
Yeah, as you got like, you know, this like thing of like a bouquet of blue feathers and other stuff, and you're like, I'm just gonna tuck this away for a while. The other cool part with Stardew Valley too is you can get a girl up to 8 hearts.
Yeah.
To get her those last 2, you actually have to give her a bouquet of flowers, and then all of a sudden she goes from single to girlfriend.
Ooh. It takes 8 hearts.
8 hearts.
Sounds like a long time.
If you find out what gift they like to receive, their hearts go up really fast. And if you give them their favorite gift on their birthday, their heart like spring loads to like
10
max. Because there was one guy who I was like, I want to be friends with you because you're kind of a cool character.
Yeah.
But I had no like idea really what his gift thing was like. But his birthday was coming up, so I went online and I'm like, okay, let's find like the perfect gift. And his gift was really easy to get in the mine.
Yeah.
So I was like, sweet. So I went into the mine, got the gift, waited for his birthday, went over.
You have to
and,
give
like,
presents on their birthday?
No.
Can I just say hi, happy
You can
birthday?
you can't just say happy birthday. You can walk up to them and talk to them, but it doesn't. There's no extra.
Because I did notice on the calendar there are people's birthdays.
Yes.
I had to buy a gift for every single person.
You don't even have to buy them a gift if you give them something that they generally like.
Yeah.
So something you find foraging.
Grass.
Not grass. Don't give them grass. People don't like
rocks.
But you know how there's like you can find flowers.
Not rocks.
Don't find rocks. Don't give them rocks. Not many of them like rocks.
Dandelions?
Yep. Those count. They think those are just flowers, so you can give them those.
Yeah.
Most of them will be okay with flowers. But the's generally cheap stuff you can.
The flower.
There's generally cheap stuff you can give to people.
What does this signify?
Yeah. But there is general gifts you can give to people, and they're like, "Oh, it's my birthday, thanks." Like you'd remembered, and they're just happy you remembered their birthday. If you give them the gift they really like, they're like, "Yeah, this is like the best birthday present ever," and you're like, "I know."
That's how I rule.
Because I looked on the internet. Good sir.
I gotta get used to those controls. So.
The controls are a little funky. They're better than the PC. Because I have Stardew Valley on my computer.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's why I stopped playing. The keyboard and the mouse do not work well with that game. In my mind, the mouse was everywhere, and you had to use the mouse to like point and click everywhere. I find it nice that, you know, I'm tilling the soil with the hoe, and you're just like, whatever's in front of you, you press the button and that's how I'm used to playing those games. With the PC, it was legitimately like controlling where I walk with this and controlling where I dig with the mouse.
That sounds like a computer game, though.
Yes. So once I think you get used to the computer game, it works out well.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, who's used to Harvest Moon on a console, this is much more up my alley. But I did change the menu setting to use the cursor. So it uses the right stick to go through the menu.
Okay.
And I found that has helped immensely because I can pick stuff.
I've just started.
Yes, you have.
I have to play around with it.
Brian and I are both in year 2.
Yeah, well, this is your only system that you play.
Correct.
And
Also, once I got into Stardew Valley, there was no escaping Stardew Valley.
And yeah, and then I started another game though.
Uh-oh.
That has, like, brings back memories.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's good memories.
Oh, good memories.
Shadow of War.
Oh, Shadow of War, that's right.
Because that was jumping it back into that was different. The controls feel a little weird to me again.
Oh yeah.
They just super sensitive moving.
Yep.
I wasn't sure what direction they were taking with this game at first, because you can't remember how it started. I just played it the other day. But you have to end up going to this human city and defend it because the orcs are invading it, and you're like, oh, I gotta defend it. I thought that's all this was going to be, was because it's just in this one area. It's just going to be this city where I'm fighting off the orcs in this general area.
Yep.
Nope.
Oh.
Nope.
Are you traveling all over Middle Earth?
Yeah, no, not Middle Earth. I'm on the outskirts of Mordor.
Yeah.
Now I'm into Mordor, taking on fortresses and such.
Well, that is the step it had to take from the last game.
They're like, oh,
yeah.
crap. And it's just, there's a big difference in the guys.
Oh, yeah.
I'm only in the second region, I'm not that far into it. But, like, the Kragors, which are the big dogs.
Yep.
They're all in cages in the city. You go to this Mordor place.
Yeah, they're
riding on them. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fun. And there's a big giant, I can't remember what they call, Grog or something.
Okay.
Big giant thing. I'm like, nope. Orcs are fighting it. I'm just gonna walk around. I'm not getting involved in this fight. Even though they told me how to fight. But yes, the Nemesis system has taken an upgrade too.
Nice.
Holy crap.
That was a really cool system. I enjoyed that system.
There aren't, what I kind of liked with the first one is how it showed progression.
Progression of the...
We haven't done that yet.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a little, even though I've died.
Yeah.
But it has, first guy that killed me jumped up to, super captain.
Right away.
I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Yay.
Yay.
There's not just your regular leaders anymore. There's guys in castles now that you kind of have, overlords that you can take out, and the captains that are just below them, and then it goes to back kind of what the original was with the original row of guys.
Right.
So you added more
rows.
guys on top of this, and they could have epic status or legendary.
Nice.
Which makes them
almost impossible.
Well, not impossible. There's ways around them, and when you don't have the intel on them,
right,
it is super tough to know how I'm beating this person.
Yeah.
And
arrows do dick, sword does dick.
Pretty much.
Must beat them by throwing smoke bombs in their face.
Well, one of the first boss guys I died at is, I can't remember his name, something the Regal.
For sure.
He stops me from jumping over him.
Yes.
But I can't.
I have no other move. That's my move.
Oh, that's the option you're giving me to fight this guy. He doesn't have a counter button.
Oh.
He does once in a while, but
so
not all the time.
You got to be ducking you.
And then the fun part about that is he gets enraged when he gets injured.
Oh.
So I slash him. He's enraged. All he does is come at me, and I have to. And the Volt cursor comes up. And it's like,
I can't do Volt.
I figured out. I just dance around.
I was gonna say you can duck back.
As long as I don't think it's X to
dodge
or jump over them, vault over them. As long as I'm pointing the X away from them and just kind of rolling around and just waiting for him to take his swings.
Yeah.
Because with him, he would go enraged, and once his enraged wears off, he gets dazed.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I can come in and start
beating
whacking him.
Yeah.
But then as soon as he killed me the first time, I go and beat him the second time around.
Yeah.
Because some of them can sniff you out.
Noise.
Which is that's just not nice. Because you can be hiding in the bush just waiting, and then all of a sudden this boss is coming. Oh, I could smell you. It's like, uh-oh. So that wasn't really helpful. And then I beat him the second go around because he smelt me. So I essentially lured him out of the base where everyone else was.
Yeah.
So I could take him all one-on-one, beat him, and then there's another boss that comes up, and he's like a master assassin, and he likes to ambush people. So I'm
damn skippy he does.
I was near death already. And then all of a sudden the second guy comes up, and I have no intel on him whatsoever. And I'm like, oh well, I guess I'm just winging this. I could take one swing at the guy,
and
then he's blocking the rest or dodging around what I can do.
Oh dear. I don't
It was
know.
super frustrating. It's
My life is a
adjusting
lie.
to this, and I'm in normal mode. I'm not even in hard mode. Adjusting to this Nemesis system again.
It's a big deal, and I remember that even going back into Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I stopped playing. I played it for a bit, and then I jumped back in, and I'm like, oh, I've got this, because I remember this, and this.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm like, oh, I remember this, and this should be alright.
Yeah.
And then I jump back in, and I'm like, you get to the Nemesis thing again, and I'm like, okay, I've got this. Like, I'm shooting arrows, and it's like,
Yeah.
twang, and I'm like, oh, right, some of you have special powers.
Yep.
And you go, oh,
And
crap.
they've also added equipment.
Nice.
I can't remember if they did in the first one or not.
Not that I remember.
But you can get different items. Like if that first guy that killed me,
Yeah.
it was just a regular orc, and he jumped up. If I went onto his mission to do the Nemesis stuff,
Yeah.
to go take him on,
Yeah.
I can get like a legendary item for beating him in that kind of sequence.
Yeah.
So there, and then on top of these, you can also get gems to slot into your items.
Okay. Yeah.
So they've added it's. My initial thought on this was like, oh, this is it, but it has really expanded to be a lot to do, which I like, and it's also a bad thing because, as I mentioned last week, I have already NHL, Shadow of War, Destiny
so many
2.
games coming out.
This week I have new South Park coming out. The week after that is Odyssey. So the fact that Shadow of War is super detailed and it's going to take some time to beat is not a great thing. But I will enjoy it every step of the way.
Well, that's good then.
Yes. But yeah, that's eating up most of my time. Other than hockey stuff, but I think we'll talk about when that one.
Sure, we can
talk about after you.
We can talk about hockey. I watched Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Men Tell No Tale.
Yes.
This morning, in fact.
And how did you find it?
This morning, I enjoyed it.
I thought it was a decent movie when I saw it.
Yeah, like I wasn't mad at it. I wasn't like people are all like, oh, these movies just keep coming, and this one is useless. And I found that this one bringing the story kind of back into there's one concrete kind of story going on, was the best thing to do for that series. Because even the last one, which tried to focus more on just Jack Sparrow, which I like, I'm fine with that, still had like 3 different subplots going on at the same time, and I'm like, you guys have to stop this because you're focusing on one.
Yeah.
And then you're giving me these 3 baby subplots that don't mean anything.
Yeah.
So I like this one with Will Turner's kid. I thought the replacement because essentially you're getting Orlando Bloom's character back.
Yeah.
In the form of his kid.
And
you're getting Elizabeth Swann, so Keira Knightley's character. But her character, her replacement essentially in this film.
It was a twist.
Was nice because she was actually like a well-educated woman, not the one that was like totally freaked out all the time.
That was funny.
Because that was my big thing.
When she told him her job. My mother did that.
Yeah, I know. There was so many good jokes like going on in there, and it was
I can't remember what she said she was.
Horticulturist, horticulturist or something like that, and they're just like,
oh, my mother did that.
And just like even all their faces are just like,
and the dwarf. Oh yeah, I know your mom did that.
It's like, oh yeah, my mom watched the clock all the time too, and you're just like, oh. And just their faces where even she says it again, and they're all like, we got it. You don't have my mom was one. You don't have to keep talking about she didn't talk about it as much as you did. Just because they're idiots, but she was actually smart, which I liked. Because Swan was more the damsel in distress for the first movie.
Yes.
Where she was the rich lady. She was the princess. She really was. She was the princess that got captured, and the Mario Knight / character has to go after her and save her.
Yeah.
This one was legitimately she was fairly well off. Right off the beginning.
Need you saving me.
Well, and right off the beginning, she's getting her last rites essentially. And it's like, is there anything you want to atone for? And she's like, yes, there's this, and there's this. And she's like, and I have to be honest, I've just picked the lock. And bam! And you're like, oh, you're useful. Yeah. Which was cool to see.
It was a bit of a twist with her character, too.
The opening scene, I don't want to spoil a lot of it, but it was like Fast and the Furious stepped up to 800.
And back in that time.
Yeah, and back with horses instead of cars and boats, and I'm just like, that's what I like about those movies too, is they go off the wall and stupid and zany. So I was like, that part was nice, but just bringing it back to even Will Turner's kid finding Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
Pretty much in the same state that Will Turner found Jack Sparrow.
And
Jack Sparrow going like, oh no, they spawned a child. Like, he's just like, oh man, I thought I was done with this junk. Orlando Bloom right at the beginning of the film, which was nice.
Yeah.
Because you see that. Yeah, it was right at the start because his kid ends up trying to get to him. And you see him, and life obviously hasn't been like stupendous for him, which kind of was surprising because the whole point was supposed to be Davy Jones started transforming because he stopped doing his job.
Is that what he did?
Yes. He gave up on doing his duties, and thus that's why he started to become the octopus type creature.
Yeah.
And you start seeing the barnacles and stuff growing on like Will, so you're like, oh, clearly the years have not been like,
you're not doing your job
super great. Like, you've kind of started to not completely, otherwise he'd be completely transformed and whatnot, but I'm just like, alright, it was cool to see Will for that little bit. And I thought Johnny Depp did a good job of Jack Sparrow. I was reading this morning, people are like, why was he so like drunk in this movie? He's never been drunk before.
He's always been drunk.
He's always been like wonky, but he's never been like severely like alcoholic. And everybody's like, he lost the pearl.
He seemed like he lost all his boats.
He lost like everything, right? Like he's lost, and by the time you see him at the end of the opening, sequence, the big scene, he's lost everything to the point where he's trading something valuable away for a bottle of booze, and everybody's like, he's clearly he's hitting the bottle. By the end of the movie, he's back to Jack Sparrow type form.
I almost feel that Jack's story has run out.
I honestly, and that was the kind of big thing about this one that I didn't mind, was the big story centerpiece wasn't that big, and it was just kind of a fun movie to watch.
Did you watch it after?
I watched to the end.
Okay.
By accident, actually. I left the credits rolling, and I was dealing with the dogs this morning when, like, after, everybody started waking up in the house. And I just kind of left the credits running, and I walked back into the room to see, like, the bitter end of it, and I'm like, oh, end credits scene, rewind.
If that's the way they're going with it.
I feel like the next movie, because they've said there's another one.
Did they?
Oh, yes, Johnny Depp has signed on for the 6th Pirates movie.
He needs money.
After his divorce. He needs the money. And honestly, I think he has fun as Jack. And Jack is the one character that hasn't bugged me by Johnny Depp in the longest time.
I want to see him on the Murder on the Orient Express.
That one I'm intrigued by. Because I think that's back to just Johnny Depp doing Johnny Depp,
Kind of he's a gangster.
Yeah.
As they put it in his title.
Yeah. And I'm okay with, like, Johnny Depp as gangster character.
Yeah.
But out of all of his, like, weird characters, though, Jack is the one that doesn't bug me. Like, the Mad Hatter, I don't like him. I don't like that movie.
No.
Period. But him as Jack Sparrow is always just kind of fun.
Yeah.
But either way, the ending of the movie, the teaser, pretty much from what I've been reading online, is they're pretty much bringing everything back and doing one big grand finale.
Are they doing all the curses at once?
Pretty much.
I don't know how they're going to pull that. That seems like it's overdoing it for stories.
Kaboom! And I'm just like, alright. And reportedly Keira Knightley signed on, and Orlando Bloom signed on.
She did make an appearance.
She made an appearance in this one, but apparently she made this appearance and went, I'm done with the series.
Yeah.
And then they clearly flashed enough money in front of her, and she's like, okay.
I guess I'll do it.
I'll do another one. And that's what kind of bugged me about this movie, is you have the Pirate Queen of the Orient, because that's what she is.
Yeah.
Sitting on a rock, like, hublumph, while her son is trying to, because that's the point of this movie, is he's trying to free his dad. It's the same. It's the first movie again, guys. Like, it's Will Turner trying to, or it's a Turner kid trying to save his dad from the Flying Dutchman. That is what this movie is. And I'm like, why isn't Keira, like, when Keira Knightley shows up, you're like, why weren't you in this movie more helping your kid out?
Because she doesn't, I don't know.
Like that's what the only thing that was my
Not that
only.
you didn't care. I guess it's just more.
That was my only lagging question at the end. Was like,
I
if
think
you know your son's
he did it in secret.
and he might have been.
So.
But either way, it was actually I was not looking forward to a reunion scene between Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley because I really by the time the
All
third
you knew was happening.
by the time the third movie was over, I was like really tired of them.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh god, they're gonna be on screen. It's gonna be this whole like,
No.
And they
It
got
was a quick scene.
They got a quick little scene together, and I was actually kind of touched. I was like, oh okay.
A throwback.
Yeah.
And if what you're saying is happening, then obviously they're going to get the threesome
Yes.
back together, and he's gonna make some comment.
Well, you even get that from him.
You again.
And he's sitting there, and he's like, ugh, as he's watching, and you're just like, oh, Johnny. They keep bringing Barbosa back, which keeps throwing me off in all these movies.
He's the one that seems to be aging horribly.
Yeah.
As these movies have gone on,
life has not been good to Barbosa.
Ever since his pirate days, he just has not been.
But he was undead for a while too, so maybe
yeah.
that has an effect on him.
But he was so attached to the pirate life.
Yeah.
That him going into the Navy
threw me off. But that was a survival instinct thing.
I guess
in the last movie,
I don't think he was.
And then in this movie,
I don't think
his
character was super happy.
He wasn't, but this movie he's back to being a pirate.
Yeah.
Because he got all those ships.
Yes, he did.
Off of Blackbeard, because at the beginning of the movie they talk about him having a command of 10 pirate ships, and he has Blackbeard's old sword,
which they didn't utilize.
No, they did not. I was kind of when he pulls it out, I'm like, yeah, shit's about to get like real, and he just does one little thing with it, and I'm like, oh.
I thought Jack had all those boats.
I thought so too, but.
Maybe they got stolen.
And at some point, who knows what
or he sold them
off. As long as he held on to the pearl, which is all he really gives a crap about. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I thought it was an enjoyable movie. I
think it was better than at least the last one.
I was gonna say the fourth one was okay, but again, there was too many storylines going on.
With
like
Blackbeard?
If it would with Blackbeard, I think if it would have been like Johnny Depp versus Blackbeard.
Yeah.
With the Navy somewhere mixed in for funsies, that would have been okay.
Because there has to be a authority figure somewhere.
There has to be the authority figure, and that was in this movie. Like we had the British Royal Navy.
Yeah.
That was kind of there when they needed to be, and I'm like, that's exactly how they're supposed to be used.
Yeah.
Like it was the same in the first movie. Norrington showed up when they needed that extra boat to show up.
Yeah.
Or that extra antagonist to appear.
And to make things even more complicated.
But essentially it was Will and Elizabeth and Jack versus Barbosa's crew.
Yeah.
With the meddling Navy sometimes showing up to screw things over or to enact a plan.
Yeah.
Like they were part of a plan to oversee something.
Yeah.
Then things got convoluted when you started adding all the other pirates into it.
To expand in the world.
Which was okay. I was okay with that too, because we get some really cool pirate kings happening.
Yeah.
But then at the same time we get.
I can't remember. Was his dad in this one too?
His dad, not as Keith Richards, was in it in the flashback scene.
Right.
You got his uncle though, played by Paul McCartney.
Yes.
He was in it.
Yes.
And I'm just like.
Well, they have to pull famous people in somehow.
Do we get like a Janis Joplin or something for an aunt?
Why not?
In the next one.
Why not?
Bring in an old like rock star sort of thing. Yeah. But I thought that was cute, and then he starts telling a joke, and I'm like, oh my god, like Paul McCartney is a flipping pirate.
That didn't work.
It did not work as well as it. Yeah, no.
It was just for humor's sake.
Yeah, it was. I did not enjoy the flashback scene.
It's been a while since I've seen them.
I enjoyed it for the fact that a young Jack Sparrow.
Oh, right, yes.
Caused
mayhem.
Javier Bardem's character to lose because he was so badass. Like I enjoyed the fact that a young Jack Sparrow was still like that cool.
Yeah.
I didn't need him getting the compass, his hat, his belt, all the crap he puts in his hair. Like I didn't need his entire origin story laid out for me like that. It could have literally been young Jack Sparrow takes over ship, already has the compass sort of thing.
Well, picking it off someone
or
Makes sense.
snatching it off, but like the guy pretty much like going like, Jack, you're the only one that can like lead us out of this. I'm going, really? You're gonna trust that one?
Because he's the only one around. He's just the first one he saw.
Maybe, but either way, I'm just sitting there going like that one. That part threw me off a bit. I enjoyed the like him antagonizing the guy from the Crow's Nest, and that's how he got the like the Sparrow moniker thing. And I'm like, okay. I enjoyed that bit. I enjoyed him flaunting his way across like the deck of the ship after he literally pulls the
180.
The 180.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that bit, but as they all started giving him tributes, I'm like, okay, that doesn't seem very. And then he kept asking for them throughout the movie from all of his crew members, and I'm like, why are you adding that to Jack? Jack has never been that pirate as we've seen for 4 movies.
He's been greedy though.
He's been greedy, but not to the point where he's like, you must give me tribute for saving my life.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was a new thing.
He's desperate.
And maybe it's the desperation thing in his old age.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that's mainly.
I don't know. I enjoyed it, and I feel if they do a 6th one and it is a big extravaganza of a
3 hours
shit show of just like, here's every bad guy we've ever had and every captain
if they
we've
bring
ever
back
had.
every bad guy, I don't know how. Some of them are dead.
We're supposed to get.
Davy Jones is dead.
We're supposed to. Well, but the curse. He's only dead because he got taken over because Will stabbed the heart, and if I'm going to spoil this part, Will comes back. Then Davy Jones
Blackbeard
is
comes
replaced.
back.
I forgot what they said now. Who is coming back? Davy Jones for sure, and someone else.
Barbossa was the first villain.
I know, so I don't know what they're planning on.
Who was the second villain?
It was Davy Jones for 2. Yeah, it was Davy.
It was Davy Jones for 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Then it was
Blackbeard.
Was it Blackbeard after that?
He was 4th.
I thought he was 5th.
No, 5th one was this one.
Right. Right, because this is the first.
With Salazar.
Yes. Yeah. So you're
But
going
yeah.
back Blackbeard?
And maybe Calypso. The
witch.
giant lady, yeah. The witch lady.
That turned into the Kraken?
No, she didn't turn into the Kraken.
She-
She turned into the
Whirl,
giant,
whirl,
yeah.
whirl.
She started the giant, yeah.
Okay. I thought the splitting of the ocean
Yep.
was actually better than
Yeah, me too. That was a cool.
the whirlpool effect.
Yep.
Because that was a little more, like, obviously it's not real, but it was a little more believable
Yep.
than ships
Fighting their way
going,
through
like, doing that and then getting attached. And, like,
Yeah.
no, that's not how whirlpools work.
Well, and that was my biggest thing. Like, the second and third movie got to the point where you're like, there's the ridiculousness of them fighting on a water wheel going down a hill, which I enjoy.
Yeah, that was funny.
Because those are great scenes.
Yeah.
Then there's that crap that happens, and you're like, really?
That,
This got too stupid to, like...
Yeah.
And again, the third movie, I had no idea what was going on through most of that film.
the whirlpool scene.
Other than the whirlpool scene, because people were trading sides and this and that and this and that and this, like...
Yeah.
The first movie did a good job of, oh, I'm totally on your side. Wait, I'm not. Oh, and you're like, because you're playing both sides of this whole thing. And then Jack ends up escaping the first movie with the Black Pearl.
Yeah.
And, you know, this and that and everything happening. And you're like, oh, good for Jack. Like, he played everybody just enough to get what he wanted. Then the second movie, it was like everybody was playing everybody. And I'm like, no. Jack should be playing people. And that's it.
Yeah, but they had the extra dimension of...
And I did like Swan throwing him off at the end of the second movie.
Yeah.
Going like, I'm on to you, jackass.
Yeah.
And like...
Hooking him
up to the ship. That was cool, because that's a nice twist. But I don't need them all trying to play off of each other. And then the third movie happens, and you don't know who anybody's on
And people
what
are
side.
coming back to life.
And all of a sudden it's like, what? And I'm okay with bringing Barbossa back to life, because he's been a fun character.
But even Jack, too.
But and then you have to bring Jack back. But once you bring one person back, you can just keep bringing people back.
I guess, since 6th is going to be Davy Jones and
Davy Jones.
everyone.
Apparently, Bill Nye, he's probably not coming back as Davy Jones.
No.
No.
Oh. The Davy Jones before him.
Really, you don't need, like, you just need a guy with the act, you know.
Yeah. It's the hair of the...
Because they're putting the, like, tentacles in front of his mouth anyways when he talks, so.
Yeah, but it was the accent that
I But it's not like you need Bill Nye.
No.
But
gonna replace him. He'll be the Davy Jones before.
He was Davy Jones.
Yeah.
Whoa.
The original Davy Jones.
Davy Jones. Yeah. So no, I thought it was a fun romp of a film.
Yeah.
I will see a sixth one when they like.
When
got to the point where I finished.
Get to the free movie.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, like this one, I don't know why I didn't see it in theaters.
Probably time.
Exactly, like I don't know when it.
That's why I've missed a lot of movies. Is I just don't have time to go see them.
That's what I mean. Or they come out in theaters, and I'm like, okay. And I don't make a point of.
Well, for me right now, it's Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
I suggested that as a birthday movie,
Mm-hmm.
but neither my brother or dad have seen the original. So I'm like, well, then...
It's been forever since I've seen Blade Runner.
That's the thing. I would want to go see it, but I just don't know if I have time to go and see it.
But that's what I mean. Like, unless you go, like, let's go see a movie, I'm like,
yeah.
Like, Thor I want to see.
Yeah.
And Star Wars I want to see.
Well, I have a list of movies that are coming out that I want to see.
But, like, we saw Spider-Man this summer.
Yeah.
And at the end of summer.
Because there wasn't anything...
There wasn't anything, like, overly, like, what?
But all these movies are starting to come out on Blu-ray now.
I know, so now it's like, oh, it's coming out. And then I'm even on Google Play, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can sit home and watch these movies.
And then you brought over, a bunch of, like, the digital
free
codes.
stuff.
And I'm like, oh, okay. And that's what I mean. Like, I had the Amityville Horror Beginnings movie that came out that they gave me on Google Play for free. And I'm like, oh, I guess this is a movie. Because my dog had me up, like, every 2 hours last night because she's losing teeth. So she's like, I want out, I want out, I want out, I want out, I want out. So by the time 7 o'clock rolled around, I'm just like, whatever, I'm not going back to bed. So I was going to put on the Amityville thing because I'm like, my wife's asleep. I can watch this because she doesn't do horror movies at all. And then I'm like, and right next to it on the Google Play thing, it was like, oh, you just added this Pirates movie. And I'm like, that will be a better film. Like, guaranteed. It's going to be better than this Amityville Horror junk. So I'm like, I'll turn that on and watch it. So I've also watched, moving on, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the new season I've started watching. So Jake starts off in jail from the end of last season.
Yeah, I still haven't watched the other season.
Yeah. So Jake in jail is funny.
Oh, wow.
Jake in anywhere is funny. But, so he has a cellmate who's a cannibal.
Oh, good.
Yep. And, like, it's pretty interesting to see that whole thing play out. But, so, yeah, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is off to a pretty good start for season 5.
Is it 5?
Yeah.
It was 4.
No, we're on season 5 now.
Huh.
That's what I mean. It's season 5 of a show, and for it not to have gotten completely stale yet is quite interesting. Hello.
Rot.
K-Rot. Socialist. So yeah, I watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine because it's on Google Play now, so I can get my shows that way now. Like, I have PVR.
I think it's on Netflix. No,
they have up to
the
whatever
previous
on Netflix,
season was
yeah.
on Netflix. That's where I'm at right now.
But they have like, I have DVR. Like, I can record stuff. Yeah. But I always find when I record stuff, something screws up and I end up missing something.
Yeah, I'm debating that about my PVRs right now.
Yeah.
Do I really care enough to watch these?
Well, the one time I recorded, like, The Orville, which is a show I've been kind of watching on and off. Yeah. Well, I turned it on the one day, and the football game that was on Fox that night ran long.
Yeah, they tend to do that.
So my DVR, like my PVR, recorded most of a football game and this much of The Orville. Yeah. And I'm like... So then you go to the video on demand thing and hope to God it's on there.
The same with the public addresses.
Yeah, if they show up, you're screwed. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I'll whatever, just get it on Google Play. So I did that. I finished Rick and Morty season 3. Yeah. I've been watching The Good Place, which is taking some interesting twists this year.
No. She's still in heaven.
Sure.
In hell now?
Maybe. Either way, like, that took some interesting twists. I'm just making sure I haven't seen anything else. I looked. The Microsoft Store had Friday the 13th 1 through something, not 10. On no. Either way, they had them on sale for $13. I think 1 through 7, 1 through 8.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, okay. But it was only the Microsoft store.
I'll probably ignore 9 all the time.
9 and 10.
No, 10 is...
10 sometimes gets recognition, but...
It gets more recognition than 9.
That's because he went to space.
Well, that's true. But the only one I haven't seen is 9.
Well, either way, I was like, oh, if it's on sale there... if it's on sale there, it would be really cool. Like, I looked at Google Play. There's no bundle. I was like, come on.
Yeah.
There's bundles for everything.
Yeah.
No bundle for that one.
So you have to buy them individually?
So you have to buy them individually. And I looked at the prices, and they're too much digitally. So I'm like,
You want to watch those, I got that.
And I have some of them. Mm-hmm. But again, digitally, it's easy enough for me to just, like, I can watch it on the can. I can watch it on this TV. I can watch it, like...
Wherever you go.
Wherever I end up, I can watch it, which is nice. But I'm like, never mind then.
I gave you a pile. You should have more movies to watch.
I do. It was just Friday the 13th, being Friday the 13th. I'm like, if I can get it on sale.
Did they have the new one on sale?
No. But I own that one digitally because I really wanted to watch that one after the game came out.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I liked the reboot. I enjoyed it with Jared Padalecki.
Yeah.
So I ended up buying that one. But it's a good buy.
Yeah.
And again, those are movies you can just put on and watch.
Yeah.
So that, and then Stardew Valley, I've been pouring myself
Golden
into.
Axe.
Well, like I was telling Brian the other day, I'm like, the worst part is like, to save the game, you go to bed at night.
Yeah.
And then it goes, saving your game, and you're like, oh, okay, thank you.
Good to know.
And to save, you essentially have to go into the next day. So you're like, okay, I'll finish this day, I'll go to sleep, and then I'll legitimately go to sleep because I'm in bed playing this game. And then your character wakes up, and I'm like, one more day. And then by the time
you just fly.
And they tend to go quick.
Yeah. But
in actuality, they take a fair bit of time. But you don't really notice that much time has gone by. So by the time you're finally like, man, I'm tired, and you look at the clock, and you're like, oh, it's 1.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Tends to happen.
Yep, so I'm like, row, that's how I've gotten so far.
Mm-hmm.
And the best part is I think Brian's been on nights, because I'll be playing the game, and all of a sudden it's like, one of your friends is playing, and I go online, and it's Brian, and I'm like, So I texted him one night, I'm like, how far are you? Because he had about a day and a bit head start.
Yeah.
So he's got like about a month on me in the game.
It's not a race.
Yes, it is. Either way, I'm beating it.
Sure.
Once you unlock the mines, one of the goals you have is to get down certain levels in the mine.
To get ahead of your...
Not your friends, but one of the, because if you press the minus button, it shows you your objectives.
Sure.
It shows you goals. You can actually have quests in the game, sort of thing. And once the mine opens up, it's like the first one, enter the mine. Mm-hmm. So you enter the mine, and then it's like, get 10 levels down in the mine. You're like, okay. And it's like, get 40 levels down in the mine. And I'm like, oh, okay.
That's hard.
And then it's like, get to the bottom. And I'm like, ooh.
There's a bottom?
And as you get every 10 levels, they usually give you new weapons and accessories and armor.
Yeah.
So you can get boots and rings and swords, essentially. And as you go down, every 10 levels, you get like an upgrade, essentially. So I'm like, oh, okay. So once a day for a while there, I was trying to get down 5 levels, because every 5 levels, it saves that spot, and you can go straight back to that level.
Did you reach the bottom?
I have reached the bottom of the mine.
How far was that?
120 levels.
Oh, Jesus.
Some levels, literally, you go down a ladder, and the next ladder is right next to you.
Huh. So you can just skip it if you want?
Yeah, because some levels of the mine is essentially rocks you can break. Minerals sometimes are around, like you'll see an ore vein that you break.
So if you want the minerals, go search.
If you're searching, if you're just trying to get down, you can get down pretty quick.
Okay.
So I did that, and I got down to the bottom, and I'm like, yeah, achieved. That's what I said to Brian. I'm like, yeah, I finally got the golden axe, and he's like, I don't have that yet. He's like, I don't even know where to get gold ore. And I'm like, no, it's about level 75-ish. You start seeing the gold ore, and he's like, oh, I just got to 75. And I'm like, well, then you're going to start seeing it soon. Yeah, and then the more you play, the more and the more you use certain tools, you level up in those areas. And as you level up, it gives you more stuff to craft for your farm. So I can craft lightning rods right now.
Why do you need lightning rods?
because when the lightning hits during a storm, it creates a battery pack.
What, electricity?
So I can actually, like, on my farm now, I'm starting to put up lamp posts for light at night instead of just torches, because you can put torches and they create like a little ball of light. So on my fences, I have like torches every so many steps to create light, at least where I walk at night, so I'm not like, where's the gate again, so I don't get lost. Now I'm actually starting to put one by one, because I need to like wait for a storm to strike this thing to create the doodad.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for those to happen so I can put more lampposts in, because they create greater light. So little by little you can like get the game going
there.
And I'm sitting there going, man, on like by year 3, like this is the first time a Harvest Moon game, once I reach like the 3rd year sort of thing, will be interesting, because I just will have so many resources and so much stuff going for me, where I can just start customizing my farm to the way I actually want it to be. Because that's the nice part about this too. When you build a chicken coop, they're like, where you want to build this chicken coop?
Over there.
And I'm like, anywhere on the farm? As long as you've cleared it of trees and junk, you can build it. So I'm like, intriguing. And then you can destroy the building and replace it with a different building if you. So you can kind of just keep changing your farm.
Chickens then?
I think you have to replace the building, move the chickens, and then destroy the old building. Because that's the thing now is in old Harvest Moon games, chickens were like the best source of profit, because you bought one chicken and you put the chicken in the coop, and the first egg it lays, you put it in the nesting area, and like a week later another chicken hatches, and then you put another egg in there, and you keep putting eggs in the hatching thing, and by soon you have an entire coop full of chickens, and you're just like, excellent. So you spent $500 on one chicken,
and you've got lots.
And you have free chickens for the rest of your life, sort of thing. Whereas this game, only the big coop has the hatching thing, so I have to wait till I have enough resources to build a larger coop. So right now I've bought 2 chickens, and I have a mayonnaise machine, so I throw the eggs in the mayonnaise machine, and it makes mayonnaise, which sells for more than eggs.
A lot of stuff to this.
There's a lot of intricate
really
little pieces to
Japanese
this.
games with so much in-depth stuff.
Well, I know, and then it's like, oh, and now you can do this, and now you can build this, and you can build, so I built the keg, so you can build, like, make wine and spirits and stuff.
Yeah.
And the fastest thing the fastest thing I found now is if you put honey in there, you can create mead, and mead actually pops out faster than the wine. The wine takes a long time to, like, rotate through, ferment.
Yeah, ferment, that's the word I was looking for.
And so I'm like, oh, so now I've built more bee houses so I can get more honey to put into the.
Yeah.
I'm just like, and you can get different flavored honey if you have flowers planted around the bee houses. So now I've planted flowers all around my farm. So my farm is quite something now.
It's in depth.
It is quite the spectacle to see. But yeah, it's a very in-depth game once you get into it. But it starts off, grow your parsnips. You know, once your parsnips have grown, sold your parsnips, go buy more seeds. And the cool part about this one too is there's the JoJo Mart, which is the supermarket, and there's the community center, and it's a rundown community center.
I think I looked at it.
Yes, and eventually you'll get a tour from, not even a tour, but, well, yeah, sort of a tour. The mayor takes you in there and he goes, this used to be our community center and used to be where everybody came to meet, but people just stopped coming.
Yeah.
And then you see a little spirit in there, these little, like, they look like jujubes almost.
Okay.
Like the candies.
Yeah.
And they're in there, and eventually you learn how to, not communicate with them necessarily, but they leave little things on the floor.
Okay.
And a thing on the floor has different shit you can do. So you click on one and it goes, to achieve this goal, you need to put in a parsnip, a thing of kale, a bean, and something else, like all the spring vegetables. You have to drop one of each one. It'll give you a prize for doing that, and if you can unlock all 5, it unlocks this room in the community center until eventually you've unlocked the whole community center.
To everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, cool, that's a cool objective, because it kind of keeps you going.
Yeah.
There's one for fishing. You literally have to catch specific fish, and I am horrible at fishing in this game. So I'm just like, okay. But there is an option you can take. If you buy a membership at the JoJo Mart, they destroy the community center and put up a warehouse.
And everything's just there.
And no, the objectives then change to, I believe, from what I've read, money-based objectives. Pancake, everyone.
Hi.
What
are you trying to bite me for?
She says, my teeth is falling out. I need something for them to fall out in. Your skin works. But, and I didn't try because I'm like, I'm going to save this community center, damn it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in a small town. We're going to save this community center. But apparently, the JoJo Mart takes over and you can spend money to unlock all of these things.
Okay.
Because as you complete these objectives...
Are they still there?
Yes, JoJo Mart's still... Like, there's supermarkets there.
Yeah.
But you don't get deals unless you buy their membership. If you buy their membership, you actually get cheaper seeds and cheaper this and cheaper that.
Yeah.
But then they take over that part of the town.
Huh.
So I'm like, oh. And as you unlock those rooms, it unlocks different parts of the map. So there's a desert part to the map.
Huh.
And I'm like...
Because that's what this town is, a desert.
Well, will you take the bus to the desert? So it actually
That's
opens
true.
the bus system back up. So I'm like, interesting.
Hmm.
So I'm like, there's a lot to this game, and it is...
A lot. And it was only like $16.
It's, yeah, for 16, I have definitely gotten my money worth out of it so far. So,
cool.
Stardew Valley, go and get Stardew Valley. Other than that, I completed my season in FIFA.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing came of it because I wasn't on a team that was doing anything. Because my team that I was playing with that I got loaned to, I got loaned right as we were coming up to playoffs to Team Canada for the World Cup.
Yeah.
But Canada didn't make the World Cup, so I just didn't end up playing. And then I got sent back to Montreal, and now we're starting our season over.
Oh.
So I'm like, okay, but I'm overall like 82 or 83 now. NBA just got an update today, so I'm intrigued by that. But every time I turn my Switch on, I'm just like, Stardew Valley.
Yeah, that tends to happen.
Yeah. Other than that, soiree to hockey tonight.
Sports.
Hockey tonight. Hold on.
Well, they've had 2 games this past week.
Yeah.
I'm not holding for anything. Those were lack of effort games, I guess.
Very much so. And I missed...
Against 2 teams we should be beating.
Well, watching the Vancouver game, you were right, their defense pretty much just...
They just sat back. And
yeah. But the Winnipeg game, I did not watch... That was the Monday game, right?
Yeah.
I did not watch most of it. I came home for the third, looked at the score and went, poof, and then watched how we were playing and went, ah. Because, yeah, it looks like we're just like, we've got this, guys. And I'm like, but you don't. You're losing by...
Mm-hmm.
And then we came back.
I tied it, and then...
And then went back to,
Yeah, pretty much.
And I'm like, come on.
And they didn't even have their best defenseman in.
No.
That was the worst part about that.
So, we'll see what happens tonight. Who are we playing this evening?
Ottawa. And they just destroyed Calgary last night, so...
Is Yager playing yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
The dog's chewing on something. Uh-oh. But we will be missing our second best player tonight. Because apparently he has concussion-like symptoms from a big hit he took last game.
Yes.
They said it was an eye injury at first, and now it's turned into concussion-like symptoms. Which, hooray!
Yes, and he's one of our highest paid players.
Yep, our second highest.
Yep. And it's just
Trouble.
like, great, that's what we needed.
But yeah, wasn't a good week. Well, I mean, we've only played 2 games, but then we had the rest of the week off, and our coach was mad.
Darn tootin'.
He made them do essentially bag skating. And yeah, and he was even snapping at the media.
Well, but it's true. Like,
they were talking, like he was doing an interview. Apparently someone was making noise in the background. He told them, hey, be quiet.
yeah, but when you have a team like ours that should be going places, and they're not playing the way they should be, you'd be pissed.
Yeah, we'll see what happens tonight, like I said, with our second best guy out.
Yep.
It just means the 18-year-old gets to play on the top line tonight.
And you know what? If it spurs some of them on to try and do,
Be better.
be better, to replace that. Like, I mean, you don't want to replace the guy that you're spending $1 bajillion a year on, but
yeah.
This is the time to shine for all of these other people right now. Like, come in and start showing off that you can do some stuff. Yeah.
Be competitive in the lineup.
Yeah. I'd let you down, but you chew on things because of those teeth falling out.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens tonight.
Yeah, it should be an interesting game.
There was a chance I could have went tonight.
Oh yeah.
To the game, but that didn't work out.
Oh, drat.
No. But whatever. Yeah, I mean, not long, but it was pretty short and sweet for sports.
Mostly because we've lost, and the reason we've lost is because we've been playing like.
Yeah.
So, if we had played better, and it was an actual, if we played better and it was an actual game,
it would be better.
There'd be a difference. Guess what? The gate's up, dog.
Whatever that was. Yeah.
So yeah, maybe we'll have more to report next week, and we actually start really playing next week. We have more frequent. We have more frequent games now starting.
Yeah.
That was the problem. Is the last games that we're on were last Saturday and Monday.
Yeah,
and then
we've had nothing for the rest of the week.
I know.
But I even watch the other teams play.
So, oh my earthquake. So there you have it. I don't think I've done anything else. In my brain, I can't think of anything else that I've done.
No, just Family Guy once in a while for me.
Yeah.
I found the last episode, just one cutscene, just hilarious. I can't remember what that episode was.
Yeah, I see.
Oh, it was when Peter became an agent.
Oh yeah,
Tom Tucker, and Chris started dating this girl that looked like Lois.
Yep.
And then when it was finally brought to Lois's attention, it was shot back at Brian.
Yeah.
Like, look how you reacted when the squirrel came into our yard. And, hey, get out of here. My yard. I told you yesterday. Get out of here. And a squirrel, usually the squirrel's just being a squirrel, but the squirrel just walked by and just...
Yeah.
I cracked up over that.
That's what else I've been watching. Cheers.
Really?
It's on Crackle. Not Crackle. Crave.
I've canceled my Crave because I just...
And that was the thing. If you're not and that's what I went. And I was like, I should probably cancel Crave because there's nothing on Crave that I watch. And then I turned Crave on.
There's Letterkenny that I'd be interested in.
Yeah.
But
so I was watching Seinfeld because that's an easy one that I can just fall asleep to Seinfeld because I've seen it and it's Yeah. And then the other day I turned it on. And I'm like, Cheers, and Ted Danson's in The Good Place, and I'm like, let's rewatch Cheers because. That's been a long while. It's a pretty good show that handled a lot of interesting, topics of the day. And the coolest part was I do my thing on IMDb when let's look at trivia.
Yeah.
And one of the top ones on there is that they actually won awards from drunk driving, anti-drunk driving people because on the show, and if you watch it, when someone's loaded, someone's driving them home.
Okay.
No one leaves the bar and drives home drunk, ever. And I'm like,
you don't catch on to that as a
and you would
person.
never actually watching the show because I watched the whole first season.
Yeah.
And then I started looking up the stuff, and then come season 2, every episode it's like, oh, okay, I'll drive you home. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll drive you home. Oh, I'll drive you home. And I'm going, why do they say this a lot? And how did I not pick up on this? Because you don't. Because they're just like, it's just the way that 2 characters can exit the bar at the same time.
Yeah.
But literally, it's the sober person driving the drunk person home, and you're just like, huh.
Hey,
and essentially, Cheers is just one big bottle episode, which just makes me laugh so hard. Because there is no other set. They're in Cheers, and that's...
Abed would not like that show.
I know, Abed would go nuts. So, either way, that's, just random TV that I've been watching.
Pretty much.
Well, thanks for joining Chris and I.
Yes.
Hopefully next week we have a real microphone again.
And other people.
And more people.
I know. It's been us for the last 3 weeks.
If it helps, it was Tony and I for the first, 6 months.
I know.
So really,
I know.
Hey, we have a crew now.
Yeah.
We actually have...
And come November,
yeah,
full crew every time.
hopefully, most of the time. Well, come November, no,
Actually,
because guess what? I'm gone like the second week in November.
Of course you are. I did find out that I actually don't have to do one of the games that I thought I would miss for this, but
Oh, there you go.
I'd be here more often too.
Yeah, I'm going away in November, so.
Yeah,
So you're gonna miss me for one episode. I'm
that's fine.
taking a holiday.
Not like this Tony character that takes off for 3 weeks.
I can't take off for that
Or this
long.
Brian character that takes off for a month.
I mean, really.
Or this Graham guy that disappears for much a year.
I was gonna say Graham.
That's great. We're gonna kidnap you one day, Graham.
Either way, thanks for joining us. You can check out more of our stuff at barrelrollnews.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Patreon,
All sorts of stuff.
Discord, all sorts of ways to get in contact with us and have fun with us. If you are watching us, we do like comments, leave some, like our videos, like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, communicate with us. We do communicate back. It's true.
We try.
We do. Either way, thanks for watching. We will see you
Bye.
next week.